What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, bringing you that ABC Cyber Dragon deck profile that I played yesterday. Honestly, I've been meaning to do this update for a while. The list hadn't changed, but now that Pheonix Enforcer is in, I thought I'd just, go fresh. It's been a while. And also, I talked about this in the comment section very recently in one of my videos, or like the ABC video from yesterday. You can easily replace the Pheonix package for Dragoon. I bought my Dragoon pretty early. I think it was like $40, or actually it was a graduation present, but I remember it was $40 at the time. Now it's $100. I'm sure a lot of people bought it at that price point. So if you have it laying around, don't think like, oh, a Pheonix Enforcer or bust. Personally, I think this is better. But both are totally good. Like Dragoon at some point, in some games will be way better than this card is, and vice versa. So it just depends. They both have their pros and cons, but I just prefer it like this right now, at least until Fusion Destiny gets banned. We'll go right through it, and then I have like 2 matches to show after that, which really showcase just how cool this deck is. Just the one Jizakuri Kaiju, because it's searchable off of a Cyber Repair Plant. I was playing a game against Pheonix Enforcer, and it pretty much forces it out, or if they don't, you're tributing over it. So it has come up before, and you just want to having a Kaiju, honestly, just one of them that you can pretty much access is it'll win you some duels every once in a while. And if you have it in your opening hand, it's like, okay, you got a Kaiju. They're certainly not bad monsters. It's a machine. It's a light machine, so it can be discarded. With Galaxy Soldier. And then it can also be you don't have to worry about this big 3,000 attack body, right? Because you can just go into Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, and it works out just the same. The 2 kind of bricks, quote unquote. Well, yeah, they're bricks. Although you'll see one duel where I actually use this card. It has an effect that probably most people don't know about. I'll talk about it in a bit. But I've used both these effects in this deck, and obviously the drawing isn't very good. It's good stuff. If all of this survives another format, I may actually end up buying it. 3 Ash Blossom there, just for your hand trap lineup. 3 Cyber Dragon. I think I talked about briefly that I used to run this at 2, which you just can't. Also, this card's good, so don't. Going second, obviously this card does a whole lot. If they have something in the extra monster zone, think about Phantom Knights. They got Rusty Bardige up there. So you got to play 3. The 3 Galaxy Soldier, it's great to have in your hand. Like, you just always want to see this card. It's one of the best cards in the deck for sure. I'm into the ABC stuff. I run a very small package. Always have 1 Union Driver, 1 A Assault, 2 B Buster, and 1 C Crush. I'm very happy with these ratios. I would never add more or less. And also, if you're able to go through your combo, you may actually have an extra B Buster at some point, which is good. It's just discard fodder. The 3... Cyber Dragon Core. This is like the best card ever. I actually took out the Cyber Dragon Trap. You could play 44 cards and have it in there just in case you have one of these in your hand, and it's like basically an extra copy. I actually really don't mind searching the follow-up most of the time. I have never had a duel since I've been playing this deck again where I'm like, wow, if I would have had that trap, I would have won the game. It's always like, okay, now I can just kind of do more combos next turn, but it could be a personal preference thing. Maybe you want to drop an infinite impermanence and put into the cyber trap. For me, this works because I'm more worried about being able to break my opponent's board or disrupt them if I'm not going first than I'm about some trap card that could just be a brick in my hand. The 1 Nashter, this card can be summoned from the deck. It can be searched through a whole myriad of different ways. This card is absolutely insane. But it's something that you want to have when it's time. It's not really a play start or anything like that. It's perfect at 1 copy. I run 2 Hertz. I used to run 3, but I also dropped down machine duplication to 2, so I feel like it's an appropriate change. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. I don't feel like I'm seeing this card significantly less than at 3. The 1 Overload Fusion, 1 Fusion Destiny. I know it's typically pretty popular on 3 of these, and maybe you do make it a 45 card deck. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, especially if your Predator Plant for an Anaconda gets negated. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I think it's fine. Like, it works for me the way that I play, just to have the 1 copy. The 2 Triple Tactical Talents. Luckily, this card is much more affordable now. And it does feel super necessary because you're constantly discarding, either through Galaxy Soldier or your ABC, like all that kind of stuff. So Triple Attack does a whole lot of other things too, other than just the draw 2 effect. But yeah, I can't recommend this card enough. Even if you're not able to activate it, it's never lost me a duel. It's like, oh, if I didn't have triple attack and I had something else, I feel like I would have won. It's always like, wow, if this effect actually goes off, there's no way I'm losing. At least that's the way it feels. The 3 cyber emergency here. I talked about 2 machine duplication, the cyber repair plant, terraforming to search your union hangar, which is at 3, of course, and the 3 unauthorized reactivation. You're going to see a really cool duel. This card is super underrated for so many different reasons. It's amazing. It's like 3 Called by the Grave, but it does more than Called by the Grave. It gives you advantage. And then the 3 infinite impermanence, obviously, to round it out. So I wanted to make sure there was enough cards where you just had, you definitely have to give yourself a chance, going second. And Cyber Dragons are just kind of infamous being able to do that as well. Onto the extra deck, the Mega Fleet Dragon, 2 ABC Dragon Buster, the 1 Pheonix Enforcer, the Fortress Dragon, the Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. This lineup is just amazing. You're able to do so much. Get rid of spells and traps with this one. If your opponent's playing a machine archetype, Ripperoni, and I've talked about this card hits Zeus, this card hits the Invoked Makaba. It's good stuff. Infinity and the Nova. And if they destroy, or if they nib your Nova, you can just go into Rampage Dragon, and maybe at some point in your combo you had already dumped one of these to the graveyard, so you can send the other 2 pieces to go into ABC. So Nibiru sucks really bad, but it's not always the end of the world. Access Code Talker, Appaloosa, the Nightmare Unicorn, the Cyber Dragon Seeger. If there is a flex spot, I think it's this. I rarely go into this card. So maybe you want to make this a Makaba. That's another option. If the Nova is tributed with something like Nibiru, that instead of going into Rampage Dragon, you could go into a Negate. But I don't know. It just feels like this is a monster with 4,200 attack in your extra deck in case you need to get over something, which it feels like a utility card that could win you a duel. The IP Masquerena, Predaplant Anaconda, and the Salamangreat Almirage. Pretty standard stuff. On to the side, this isn't anything crazy. I mean, 3 Nibiru, 3 Joan Lockbird, 3 Dark Ruler No More, 3 Cosmic Cyclone. I run 2 Forbidden, but I think this could be anything. But more importantly, I think Imperial Order 100% has to be in this deck because you're putting a lot of these kind of big bodies on the board. So if you draw this, it's kind of auto win, right? Because the 3 disruptions of Infinity, Dragon Buster, and Pheonix Enforcer, it can be broken, but more than likely not, especially if they can't, Dark Ruler, Forbidden Droplets, any of that stuff against you. This card's just going to be able to do it all. I think this card's going to get banned in January. I think it really should. It's kind of insanely stupid. But for now, play like everybody else is. So we'll start with this match against Dragon Link. This looks like a weird hand, but it's actually pretty good. And luckily I'm going first. Otherwise I would have been pretty screwed. But here we go. I actually kind of have the opportunity to, I think overextend myself maybe. But, I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, let me just get Infinity on the board. And this unauthorized reactivation could still be really useful. Because, obviously I'm going to have access to being unaffected to monster effects or spell effects. Both of which could very well come up. If you were to activate a Dark Ruler No More, and I could save my negate, so I'm actually really happy with this end board, especially because he wasted that imperm, so he has 1 less card in his hand. A well-timed hand trap obviously will do a whole lot here. Yeah, I could have saved Verde Anaconda to guarantee that I end the duel. But you just never know. And luckily, I kind of made the right decision there. He's going to try to take control of Infinity. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and activate the second copy for B Buster Drake there. So it's unaffected. So I still have my Omni Negate, which, it's very important because it's not going to allow him to combo. I'm sure he was probably trying to go into a Hulk there. So it's very nice. Here is the other duel here. Let's see. And I think he sets up a bit of a board. It's not a great hand. But I think he sets up 2, maybe 3 disruptions. Well, he does have the Effect Veiler and the Imperm in his hand. So we'll see how I'm able to work through this. Peeping at my hand, I mean, this looks really nice. So I'm assuming he's going to have a Borreload Savage Dragon, which yes, he does. So I'm going to go ahead and Kaiju that, and I can get rid of this extra Monster Zone. That's what nice draw off the top, right, the Nibiru. So I can go ahead and search a Cyber Dragon. He has to bounce, right, because I'm going to go into Mega Fleet Dragon, and then I can just special summon back the Cyber. When I was playing this, I figured I'm going to go straight into the battle phase thinking that this was a Chamber Dragon Maid, not an Imperm. So I think I ended up kind of walking into it. Oh yeah, like normally you'd want to summon out 2 Cyber Dragons, but it's like just getting 2 bodies from the board, especially that now that these banish themselves and can special summon, anything like any cyber monster. Having 3 in the graveyard is also really cool. But he did end up negating there, the Fusion Destiny, and that's why you maybe want to have multiple copies to make it a 45 card deck. But Nightmare Unicorn definitely helped me out big time there. IP Masquerade is like MVP of this deck sometimes. There we go. I can now normal summon the Hurts, go into the duplication again, which is just awesome. This can go ahead and get me to an infinity, which can get into an Excess Code Talker. I can pop his back row. I mean, I pretty much was 99% sure of what it was. And even if he tried to activate Nibiru, I would have had the negate for it. But luckily I was able to make it under, the 5 summons, which is pretty cool. Here's a couple of duels against Necro Valley. So that was combo. This is control. See how I'm able to work through it. This is like a really weird hand. It's like very bad, actually. So I think I'm just going to try to go to, into a C. So when this goes to the graveyard, this is going to get special summoned. And if it survives, I can target to get, C. He's playing Necro Valley. I do have 2 imperms, but, against this, trap heavy deck, like it's not actually that good at all. And if I were to guess, I'm going to say he goes into like Red Eyes Fusion. No, he doesn't. So, wow. That's kind of surprising, actually. That used to be like the powerhouse of this Necro Valley deck. But my plan kind of came to fruition here. So during the main phase 2, I'm going to go ahead and target the B and try to equip a, then A. And I can't go into into ABC Dragon Buster because of Necro Valley. I'm going to attempt to send the Fusion Destiny. This is like another duel that's just like, yeah, you should run 3 Fusion Destiny for sure. Because now it's just dead, right, all those cards. Although what you'll see in just a second is it's not actually completely dead. The one that basically draws 2 has a very crazy effect that most people probably don't know about. If this card declares an attack, you can target 1 face-up spell your opponent controls and destroy it. So I bait out another Solemn Strike, which is great. I'm going to get over the Ecclesia, which is sick because you can't be destroyed by extra deck monsters, of course. And all I have to do is normal summon the B, and he only has 800 attacks. So as long as I can just get over this wasn't special summoned, I can just attack for game. So that was awesome. Here is the other duel against Necro Valley. He has like a really great opening, for sure. But I'm going to have a decent setup, I think. Normally you would think you should summon the B Buster, but you can trigger both of these effects. And before when Union Driver is out, like this combo would have been so busted. But still, you can get 2 forms of disruption, so you can't be too mad. And I'm gonna have the draw 2 follow up, which is great. The Cosmic Cyclone, because I know he's playing like a really spell and trap heavy kind of deck here. He Cosmics my Cosmics. That's crazy because I'm playing like a combo deck and he knew that. You'd think he would have sided this out, but smart call by him, I suppose. And I'm going to have 1 pop with the ABC. We'll see where I end up using it. I'm going to get at least 1 during the end phase, and I can trigger these. Very nice. So I can definitely go into an Access Code Talker if need be, and that would trigger the effect of, I think, Celestial it's called in the graveyard, a special summon this to give me extra link material, which is nice. I can go into a Nightmare Unicorn to shuffle back one of his back row, that's Waking the Dragons. And yeah, I was like in a pretty good spot there. So yeah, that was the deck profile and just a couple more replays. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.